with that Plano Midnight Express. Let's go trackside. Army's got Donnie Sullivan now.
1:35.48, you're in the 8th spot. Not exactly what you were looking for.
No, we're trying a lot of different things on the truck and just haven't figured them out yet.
One thing we noticed you tried, everybody else is starting on the left, going straight or to the right. You started on the right and went to the left. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, nobody else could find a good place to pull on the track, so I figured I'd try this side. Nothing's good out there right now.
We are down to our final 3 trucks, and scheduled out next is this kid, Ken Lamont, out of Crossville, Illinois, the Plano Toolbox Midnight Express. But Army, big-time problems for Ken.
Definitely problems in the steering sector on the vehicle. There's a pin that holds the steering knuckle together. That pin fell out. Now, some of the people going over to help him are his competitors. Dole's over there, Roush is over there. They've all been in this situation, but right now, he's under a lot of pressure.
Well, bad times right now for Ken Lamont, but I know earlier today, Army, you spent some time with him, and you talked about some of the good times.
Well, after 18 years in the sport of pulling, starting literally in the bottom class, that being the garden tractors, Ken Lamont has worked his way to the top. The top being this time in the 2-wheel drive super modified Midnight Express. Ken, if you had it to do over again, would you do it?
Well, I've asked myself that a lot of times, Army. At times, I say, no, I wouldn't do it. At times, I'm tickled to death I'm still in it.
There has to be peaks and valleys in any pursuit like this. Now, your goal is to be a national champion again. You've won 2 national championships. Peaks and valleys, where are they in this sport?
Well, right now I'm in a peak because we've been running super tough this weekend. Last weekend was a valley. I blew a motor, and we worked all week long, myself and the crew, trying to get this thing ready to go again. In answer to your first question, if this is as far as the sport's going, I wouldn't do it all over again. That's 18 years of my life. I'm only 30 years old, you know. But I think you're looking at early NHRA or early NASCAR, and if that's the case, I want to stay on top of this thing, you know. And if it is going like I think I am, I'm tickled to death I'm still involved in this sport.
The sport 5 years from now, where is it going to be? You're talking about NHRA, you're talking about NASCAR, very established. They have a following. You feel like this sport's generating a following?
Yeah, and it's due to the television coverage. Without the media, the sport's never going any farther. But television is an amazing piece. Once the American public sees it on TV, then it's real. You know, I've been doing it 18 years, and only in the last 2 or 3 people around home know that I'm doing it because of television. Things are really going good. I don't know, it seems like in other motorsports, the only way to keep yourself alive is with sponsors. And the only way to get a sponsor is with impressions and what have you on television. If you're on television, learn how to use it. You know, I'm not any kind of magician. I work my tail off trying to get these sponsors. I work harder on that than I actually do probably competing. But it's just, I don't know, it's an inner drive inside of you wanting to do that, you know, wanting to be a success and wanting to be good.
Well, Ken Lamont is a success. He's your current national leader on the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series circuit. How good is he? Hopefully we're going to get to find out as we are down to our final 2 trucks of competition in the Omni, Atlanta, Georgia. Back with more on Power Tracks in a moment.
The Total Sports Network. Warm up with TNT Motorsports in the wintertime. The Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series stages the country's largest and oldest indoor truck and tractor pull on February 15th through the 18th at the National Farm Machinery Show at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. Still more Redman TNT truck and tractor pulling is scheduled for February 17th and 18th in Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery, Alabama. February 24th through the 26th at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah. February 24th through 25th at the Greensboro Coliseum Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina. March 3rd through the 4th at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama. March 10th through the 11th in the Texas Exposition Heritage Center in Austin, Texas. And March 10th through the 12th in UTC Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The wild racing on the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge continues on February 17th and 18th at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi, Mississippi, and on March 3rd through the 5th at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York.
Back in Atlanta, Georgia, we are down to our final 2 pullers in the competition, and Army, thus far, we've seen a lot. Are you surprised at what we've seen?
No, Richard, really I'm not. The leader said earlier he had been having problems this year getting horsepower, but the leader, the Bad Dog Ford, is back in his home state at his home altitude on his home clay. I think that's why he's out there. Also, he had an awfully good draw.
And coming out next is got to be Mark Miller. He has had a Richmond, Virginia. He calls it the Mini Brute. It's a Chevrolet.
All Chevrolet, 512 cubic inch alcohol burning Chevrolet, beautiful candy apple brandy wine in color. Now he's kind of a second generation puller. His uncle, John Carlton, competes for the Redman points in the modified tractor division. This young man travels all around the country chasing the points in the two-wheel drive division.
And of course, Big John Carlton drives the Virginia Farmer. We'll see him on future Power Track shows. But right now, the distance to beat is 161.19. That distance held by Mike Stowe and the Bad Dog. Here goes the Mini Brute.
Chevrolet going after the Ford. Chevrolet working the left side of the track. The ground speed's not there. He's getting awfully close, Richard.
He shuts it down. A nice pull. 147.08 for Mark Miller. That is going to be good enough to move him into the top 5 and 5th place. Let's go trackside. Army's got Mark now.
He went a 147.08. It looked awfully light on the nose.
Yeah, it was light. The track has gone away from what it was at first. I went ahead and gambled and took some weight off the front end, and when I had to get on the brakes for going to the left side, it really hurt me.
Is there a good side and a bad side of this track? Everybody seems to be working off the left side better than the right.
I don't know. Last night we thought it was the right side. The left side didn't seem to work, and today they're just looking for a good place on the track because it isn't as good as it has been.
Well, even though the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series circuit is only a few weeks old, Army, we have already established 2 guys that are going head-to-head. One is Mike Stowe, Bad Dog, your current leader. The other one is this kid right here, Ken Lamont, the Plano Toolbox Midnight Express. It looks like he has got his problem solved, and they are going to fire up the engine.
Well, the drama is definitely going to build here in Atlanta. He only dropped 1 spot, Richard. That's not going to hurt him, but he had a bad draw to start with. You got to remember, the leader Ford drew the number 2 position. In actuality, he being the Midnight Express, drew the second from the last position. Due to the problems, he dropped last. The worst possible position, the worst possible scenario for this run is going to take place right now.
And already Richard Wisnut, one of our earlier competitors, said the track was going away. So Ken Lamont out of Crossville, Illinois, the Midnight Express machine, definitely the odds are against him.
The odds are against him, but I tell you, right now, if he can pull up, I'll be real honest with you, if this kid gets a top 5 finish, pulling at the last of the class, he has done his work.
And of course, that will keep him in the lead on the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series circuit. And here goes Ken Lamont, the Midnight Express.
Starts the roll, looks good, powers up. Richard, we've got a good run going. The Plano Toolbox Midnight Express, look how close it is.
Oh, he just missed it. 160.14. Ken Lamont is got to take over second, not get the win, but a great run for Ken Lamont. So our winner is Big Bad Dog Mike Stowe out of Georgia. Army's got the champ now.
Well, Richard, earlier in the show, you were talking about how tough Mike Stowe was going to be. The drawing position did not hurt you one bit tonight, young man.
No, it didn't. It really didn't. We've had trouble all weekend. We come indoors, and the altitudes changed. Temperature changes. It's wintertime. It's been raining. We've really had a problem all week getting the motor running. Finally got it running pretty good today. Second hook didn't hurt me a bit. The track didn't get any better. It got worse for a while, I believe. And then toward the end there, Ken had a little trouble, and they just kept working the track. And boy, I was really scared he was going to blast me there. Kenny's been running like gangbusters all weekend. Really great. It's going to be a battle.
Well, I really like that guy. Mike Stowe, congratulations. There you see Billy Joe Miles, one of the principals of TNT Motorsports, presenting Jim Crabtree and his wife Shirley the Exquisite Uniform Company Sportsmanship Award. Jim earned that during competition here in Atlanta. Army, you've got the top 5.
Richard, the top 5 finishing order today: Mark Miller out of Virginia, 5th. Ronnie Poole, brand new truck, took 4th. Wayne Rouse, Old Faithful, was 3rd. Ken Lamont, 2nd place, and Mike Stowe, the winner out of Georgia.
So the story in Atlanta, Georgia, is Mike Stowe and Ken Lamont have started 1989 just like they finished 1988, going head-to-head. Today, it was Mike Stowe's turn. Tomorrow, who knows? For Army Armstrong, I'm Richard Leek. We'll see you again on the tracks across America.
Join us next time for Power Tracks, the most powerful sport on earth. Brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.
Turning the power on.
The truck really hooked in. I could tell by the RPM it was hooked in really hard, and something gave loose. I don't exactly know what it is, but we're going to get it fixed.
The problem is in the front of the truck, though.
Well, when you got a positive four-wheel drive system, you don't know if it's the front or the back because the whole system's tied in together.
And we've got 3 more trucks to go with TNT Motorsports on Power Tracks. Back to Power Tracks, where we are well, wait a minute. Let's call it TNT -3 and counting. Our final 3 trucks in this class in competition. And the first of the 3, Dave Willoughby out of Athens, Ohio, and a beauty of a Ford. It's the 40 Ford.
You know, Ohio has long been known as a performance state with some of the finest street rods, some of the finest drag racers, but this is a truck puller out of the Buckeye State going after a Georgia Ford. Richard, the ground speed is not there.
He shuts it down, 159.96, a pretty good distance for Dave Willoughby out of Athens, Ohio. Not good enough to take over the lead, but Army, that is good enough for 3rd place.
Richard, Dave Willoughby just went up into the number 3 spot. It looked like an awfully good run, Dave.
Well, we have been working with the chassis all week long trying to get hooked up to this track. The long wait to get Howard's truck off the track kind of lets the track sit and dry a little. I'm really surprised that we came up that far into the placing, but it did seem like the adjustments we did make have worked, plus the gear ratio combination.
And then there were 2, and this is one of those Florida Ford drivers, Russell DeForest, the outlaw out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Army, tell us about the engine he's running.
Builds his own engines, Richard, 700+ cubic inches. He runs an auto brokerage operation out of West Palm Beach when he's not on tour with us, but right now, believe me, he wants to give Ford the 1-2 punch. I don't believe he's going to do it.
No, sir, 156.02. That's going to be good enough for the top 5. As a matter of fact, Russell will move into the number 5 place. And Army, it looks like the track